Hello, hello to all my beautiful Love Your Life show friends. Welcome to the show. Today we have Aurora in the house with us. Yeehaw! So exciting. And it's been a bit of a get to the finish line moment for us this morning, well, this evening, because I guess it's evening there in wonderful Oz. Yes, so I'm going to introduce Aurora. Aurora, are you there with us?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you nice and loud and clear. Beautiful. And how are you on this beautiful day, Aurora?
Nice.
Well, let me just introduce Aurora properly to you today. Aurora is actually, she lives in Sydney, Australia, obviously, and those of you who might be calling in today are from Australia, I'm pretty sure. She's been an explorer of consciousness for over 40 years. 40 years. She's done this for a while. Okay, so she knows her stuff. Through her professional training and teaching as a clinical psychotherapist and university lecturer, as well as her spiritual adventures in Europe, the US, India, Costa Rica, Bali, to name a few. Also recently, Aurora has been combining her love of crystals and the earth with her awareness of other dimensions and timelines, not necessarily in this world or even in this galaxy. She does personal sessions and workshops in which the theme is heart and soul reunion as we move into more and more love for ourselves and our lives. So thank you for joining us again, Aurora. I'm excited. It seems like our internet is wonderfully working today, which is always a great thing. And Aurora, would you like to give us a bit more insight as to what you do? I know you're involved with crystal bowls and quite a bit of crystal healing. Give us a little bit more info on that.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. I think I have some friends in the room too. We've got Bernadette, Catherine, Maureen, and Nick, who's all joined us today, which is awesome too. So are you okay there, Aurora? Seems we've slightly lost Aurora. I think we will get her back again, hopefully soon. Aurora, are you there? All right. Well, amazing. For those of you that are here with us, if you'd like to she's probably just going to check on back in a few moments. In the meantime, let us know if you've got any questions, or just give us a shout out in the chat and say, hello, we are here. Would be nice to hear from you. There is a little chat box, should be on the right-hand side of your screen. I'm just going to check in there with Aurora and see how what she's up to there. Just give us a few seconds. Always good to just get back in touch and say, hello, are you there? Are you there? Just so she knows. There we go. I think she's got to log in from a different, There we go. You're back. Yay! Aurora is back. Yes, you were just about to tell us how amazing you are, Aurora.
Can you ask me the question again? I had to get in and get out, and my head's all gone.
Don't you love technology? Isn't it just amazing? It keeps us on our toes. I love it. And clearly there's some interesting stuff that's going to be coming through today, because the energy is like on the line, right? So you're involved quite a bit with crystals and crystal healing, as well as your psychotherapy. Tell us a little bit about how you use the crystals and what you do. And I know that you're involved with singing bowls as well.
Yeah. Well, this has come in the last few years of a reunited love of crystals really coming through in the work and starting to talk to me, and sessions starting to get me to ask people if they've got crystals in their home, and then seeing what they've got and being guided to give them layouts to do and to work with crystals in the sessions. So that's been interesting and fun, and a great new aspect to the work I've been doing up till now.
That's awesome.
And last time we were together, I was showing you the crystal swords. So we did have a wondering if they were playing with the energy, so I might put them down again in a minute.
I'm thinking so too, right?
I'll put them back over there, but they are also selenite, and so I've been playing and wearing and collecting crystals for over 20 years, but this is a fabulous new thing where they've started to come through in the work that I do.
Wow, that's amazing. And I believe you have a special offer on until the 15th of August, apparently, with some
That's
meditation.
right. Now, can you still see me?
I can see
Okay.
you beautiful. Your beautiful face is right
Okay.
in front of us there. I love it.
Okay, fantastic, because I'm getting a message saying I've been locked out and I can't see you, but I'm just going to not touch anything.
Don't touch
Talk to the
anything.
screen. All right. I'd rather be looking at you, but I'll talk to the screen.
It's okay. We can see
Yeah. So yes, I did put an offer up so that if people wanted to try working with me via Skype, they could go in through my website under the Transformational Healing tab, and there's a special offer there of a third off for any sessions for the next 3 weeks. So that would be fun to get to play with people and experience what we can do together. Yeah.
Amazing. And your website is Aurora Hammond. That's Aurora, AURORA Hammond .net. Is that correct, Aurora?
Correct. That's right.
That's
yeah.
Yay! Amazing. Okay, so Nick is actually saying, I can hear you, Aurora and Beverley. So everyone on the call can hear us loud and clear, I'm hoping, which is great. And yes, I think, yeah, last time when we spoke, you were taking us through a beautiful meditation. What have you got in store for us today, Aurora?
Well, yes, that was a really different meditation that came through last time. So it'd be fun to see. I mean, I don't really plan it; it just comes through in the moment. But I think what I was mentioning too was that because I've been a psychotherapist and teacher for many, many years, it's interesting to work with people who might have been having anxiety and different issues that they've been finding hard to shift, and to work with them in a different way. And I think of myself as a bit like going to see an alternative health practitioner who's also a GP. Like I'm got the serious credentials and all the other ways of working as well. So that can be very helpful sometimes.
Definitely, because you've got the medical backing side, if you want to call it, from a psychological perspective, but then you also have the energetic side. So it's a more holistic kind of approach, as opposed to saying you are just your mind and your mind controls everything. You're kind of like, no, working with the energy, working with the heart, working with the whole being as well, which is beautiful.
Yeah. And also I do find that, a lot of empathy is still needed when people are distressed and finding things difficult. And a lot of people at the moment who are very sensitive are experiencing heightened degrees of anxiety with all the energies coming through. And, I'm finding that the overall level of people's anxiety has really risen. And so, again, we need to talk about that as well as work energetically with it and work with it in that holistic way. Yeah.
One thing for me as well that I've recognized is, because we live in a society that is so anxious, it's actually, the society is incredibly anxious. It almost feels like it's normal to be anxious. It's normal to be feeling like you're chasing all the time. It almost feels weird because over the last over the last 2 years, I personally have been actively focusing on releasing that anxiety and giving myself more space and more love and all of those wonderful things. But sometimes it catches me where I think that I'm missing something, because the anxiety has been a part of my life for so long, and without even knowing how much it's impacted my life, that sometimes I'll almost crave anxiety. Do you get that with a lot of your clients?
Well, no, I don't. I haven't. The craving anxiety, that's interesting. I mean, the brain is really used to having that vibration, that chemistry in it. And so it's interesting when we try and shift that. Probably what I'm seeing more of is people who are really expanding their awareness and their capacity to feel everything. And so they're picking up on that broader anxiety and having trouble distinguishing what's theirs and what's not theirs. So that people who were already very sensitive are now feeling a lot more than they were before because of larger vibrational shifts that have happened this year and in the last few years.
Yeah, and there have been some mammoth shifts. What have you picked up with the shifts and like timelines and things like that from your perspective?
Well, the veils are thinning, as we say, that a lot more people are having the ability to have awareness of their existence in different timelines while being in this one. And, rather than thinking of past lives and thinking of it as in linear time, we know that it's all happening at once, just in different lines of time. And so I'm finding for myself and for other people that I'm working with that, they can be having awarenesses of the events in other timelines as well, which, as far as I know, that experience has not really been available to very many people, previously. So, and that's, giving a much deeper sense of that, the old idea of everything happens for a reason, and kind of trying to look for a reason and figure it out and make sense of it. Kind of doesn't work anymore, because it's not that simple, in terms of there's one reason that we figure out with our heads. We've just got to be expanding our awareness all the time into more and more of what's there, and that a lot of the time we're kind of in the unknown, but that is, I think, the new consciousness that's coming through now, where we're going into areas we haven't known and been able to hold that awareness of before.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. And you just opened up a whole universe for me when you said that. Like, everything happens for a reason. What belief system is that? That is that's such an interesting story, right? That's such an interesting point of view. That's such an interesting thought of everything happens for a reason. Then your mind starts to look for the reason so that it can be validated. Isn't that interesting? Wow.
Yeah. And also, usually people's minds are looking for some kind of interpretation based on this, reality. And of course, when we start to understand time collapsed, we know that it's never just this reality. That this reality is a metaphor, if you will, for many things. And so it's just too limited to try and look for that cause and effect reason, I find.
And like, yes,
I was just going to say, the other idea I kind of think of as a bit outmoded now is that one of, someone was saying it to me in a class I was teaching recently about, peeling the layers off the onion. And I said, I just don't think we can think about it like that anymore, because it implies that there's a place called I'm finished, or I'm all better, or it's all done now. And, we're not playing peeling layers off an onion. Really, we're being like the universe, which is ever expanding, ever unfolding into more and more expression of ourselves. So to me, that's got quite a different feel to it. We're not trying to peel and layer off to get to the core truth kind of thing, where we're actually coming from within our true nature and expanding that out to see what could be more of me, and how could I be more of me, and what more experience could I have now.
Wow, that's a beautiful. I love that. It's almost like the lotus flower. They have this depiction, I think, in a lot of Indian and Vedic and those kind of texts. They have the image of the lotus flower, and with the chakras, they talk about the lotus flower opening up, and it's almost like an infinite lotus flower, because as soon as those petals fold open, then there's more petals that come up, and that it keeps on doing this internal process like a fountain all the time. Which is really, really beautiful. It's a lovely thought. And I have a question from. Yes.
Well, there's no, because the old thinking is, I'll fix it and fix it and fix it till it's all better, and then there'll be an end. And so a lot of people working on themselves are trying to fix it until there's an end point.
There we go.
And sorry, I just was suddenly wondering if you. I can't see anything, so I'm in the dark.
You're like, I'm not touching the screen. The screen is going to stay as it is. So if we have loops and blings, oh well.
Exactly. What do you know them? So that idea of where we're kind of somehow not enough or broken, we need to be fixed and get rid of things and all of that is really, you know, again, a very static, dualistic way to look at things. And when we turn it around to, you know, the only thing that heals us is love, and how can we become more and more of that love that we are, then it's never about peeling things away and kind of getting smaller. It's always about bringing more forward and bringing more forward.
Yes, yes, I love that. I love that. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. It's like an unending gift that you give all the time. We have a question from Catherine. Have you got any tips on how to differentiate between what's our own issues and what we're picking up from other people?
Yeah, that's such a great question, and such an interesting one to keep exploring, because mostly we immediately start thinking, oh, what's going on with me? And, you know, I find that how I do it is just really to close my eyes and go inside and really check in with my body. Though I'm finding now that my body is actually feeling a lot more too. And just simply, you know, taking our awareness up to our higher state of consciousness, however we might do that, and just asking the question, is this mine? And sometimes, you know, we get a no, or I just get a kind of like a blank or a stop, and or I get shown of whose it is, like, okay, it's not mine.
Yes. That's very, that you see, that's the thing, like you mentioned, is I think we've been taught for so long that we've got to find answers outside of ourselves, that we've got to somehow pick up the next book, or you know, Google it, or ask someone, that we forget that we have all of the answers inside of ourselves. And we can ask that question. The answer will come. It always does.
And I think, you know, to err on the side of thinking it's not yours is quite an interesting place to start for a change, because most of us spend our lives thinking it's me, it's, you know, I'm too sensitive, I'm too this, I'm too that. And we've kind of moved into an area where I think we have more permission to say, what if none of it's me? And to start from that place, because again, it opens up the fear, you know, rather than collapsing down into, oh, it's me, you know, I've got a problem. It's got to go, well, what if it's not me at all? And just opening that up. And I had an example of this the other day where, you know, someone had an unexpected response to an interaction that I'd been in. And I just went, what if it's not me? And then the words came in, and I just laughed, and I said to myself, I am the gift. It's like, whatever the response to it is, I'm just going to hold the space of I am the gift and see what that brings to me. And it kind of shifted me out of any, oh my goodness, you know, angst about the whole thing and how it might turn out. I just went, I'm just going to be the gift and see what shows up out of that.
Yes, and that is such a great way to experience life, especially if you're in a conflict situation, is to, I know that sometimes it's challenging to think of yourself or feel yourself as the gift if you're in a conflict situation, or if you're wondering if something, you know, if there's something going on with another person. But if we can create that awareness in those moments of, how am I being a gift here, or how is this person being a gift to me, or how is this a gift, it changes the whole energy. Your whole energy shifts, and you perceive completely differently. It's just, it's like yes.
Well, I was going to say, my experience of that was it took me completely out of the anxiety, and I didn't really then need to worry about whether it was mine or not, because I just wasn't in that field anymore. Yeah.
Wow. And it's just, it almost feels like this wonderful game that we're playing. It's just a fun expression of perception and consciousness on a consistent basis. It's so fun. It's so fun.
And more unknown to explore. That's my current experience. Even with the crystals, you know, there's a whole new, I don't know if generation's the right word, because they're millions of years old, but you know, there's a whole new array of crystals who who haven't been present before, and they carry different frequencies, and so it feels like working with crystals all anew to me, with different kinds of energy coming through. And some of the authors who write about that are saying the crystals of the new consciousness are carrying this higher vibrational frequency, and so some of them are really kind of opening up such interesting new ways of seeing and feeling things, like gone way beyond, oh, this is going to help you feel more loved, or this is going to help you, it's kind of like, no, this is going to actually take you way up there to somewhere you've never been before. And like, really, okay, it's a whole new ride that I'm having with crystals than I had before. Yeah, they're taking us new places is my experience right now. Yeah.
Yes, that is, and it makes, what you say makes so much sense, because I think part of a lot of the old paradigm was people trying to get to something, and what they were actually looking for was themselves, and what they were looking for, the love that they are of themselves, and letting go of the belief in separation from themselves. And now it's almost like when you've got that and you recognize, I'm not separate, I'm with myself, I love myself, then it's like, okay, now what? What's the next thing? What's the next step? Okay, well, what if I just have fun with this?
Yeah. And what if I can be more and more and more of this? And what if I can be more of this with awareness of now different timelines and different spaces? I mean, it's interesting because I think humanity's at a really interesting point. It's a bit like, in the Middle Ages, if we'd lived in Europe, we thought that if you got in a ship and sailed far enough over the water, you'd drop off the edge of the world. And that they thought Europe was the whole world, right? And their revelation when Captain Cook and Columbus came back and said, no, we went round the whole thing and we're back, And humanity's now at that point where we've got these telescopes and we can see that there are, in our galaxy alone, there are 200 billion stars. And we know that we're not the only galaxy in the universe, and we know that there's a multiverse. And we're just starting to go, oh, like there's this vast field. It's not just our world, which we've now got used to seeing a picture of from off our world, which really shifted the consciousness when we could see the world as an object there. And now we can, we see pictures of the Milky Way with a little "You Are Here" sign. And it's so expanding. But, it's expanding our thoughts about who we are and where we are and what might be going on out there, because suddenly we know that we are just part of millions and millions and millions of stars, galaxies just spewing out stars like that every day. So it's really clear now that there's no end, there's no end point, there's no I'm done or what will I do now, because there's no end to what there is to explore. I love that.
That's exciting. Yeah, it is really very, very, very exciting, because it's like you'll never get to the end of it. So you kind of relax in the now moment of the process of where you are now, instead of thinking, oh, when I get to the end, then I will feel X, Y, Z. You recognize, whoa, I can actually feel it now. Wow.
Yeah. And I could feel it more, and I could be it more, and I could just do more and see where it takes me, right?
Exactly.
Because it does, it goes to some really interesting places, that's my experience. And this is indeed the evolution of consciousness. So, it feels evolutionary to me, and that feeling of evolving rather than in the past. I think we were kind of fixing or trying to make better or trying to be worthy of. This is a very different place to be exploring.
Yeah, I remember with a lot of the self-development stuff that has come over the last couple of years, it's all about self-improvement. Like there's that thing, even that the Japanese say, kaizen, continuous improvement. And I think we get to the point where it's like, no, it's not really improvement. It's just expansion and changing. And then there's also this whole idea in consciousness of everything outside of you is reflecting who and what you are. So when you start to recognize, like you're saying, this expansive universe, you go, okay, well, if this is a reflection of me, holy but Jesus. You know, like, what is that all about then?
Yeah.
That's
right.
exciting.
And it kind of puts life in a different perspective, doesn't it? It's you know, that making this life work, or figuring it out, or making it worth something. I don't know, that feels very, very different perspective when we really see it in that wider field. When we start to see that there's nothing to figure out really, and that a lot of the stress and anxiety people are under, of course, is trying to find a way to give life meaning for them. And I love to just say to people, well, the fact that you wake up in this spacesuit, which in itself is like a galaxy with trillions of cells in it, all expanding consciousness, and you're the captain of the ship, that's just amazing to get started with when you wake up right there. Even the body, we think about the body is devolving, and yet those of us exploring consciousness are feeling like, actually, I feel like mine's evolving.
Yes. Yes, and I've had that too. People have said I look younger than what I used to, like what I used to look like. And like, I was actually getting wrinkles at the age of 30. I mean, really, and they're gone now. They're like, have left my face, which is great. But that's just an interesting point of view, isn't it? Wrinkles are just another interesting point of view, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And the aches and pains I had when I was 40, I actually don't have them anymore.
Wow.
So I feel my body feels lighter and actually more mobile than it did 20 years ago.
Yes. Wow.
They're all fun things to be exploring in what's possible as we keep raising the frequency of consciousness in our body, in our minds, and our brains, changing it, because it changes our brains, all this work we're doing. And
they call that neuroplasticity, don't they? They speak about how that works. What is what I always hear about that, but what does that mean? That your brain is actually growing, or does it mean that your brain is changing? Is that sort of what they mean when they say that?
Well, it's pretty great, because what they've discovered is that the brain is always changing, and that we used to think once you reach about 25 it would just started disintegrating, but in fact they're finding that it's changing all the time. And the latest piece of research has shown that every day we get 600 new stem cells in our brain.
Wow.
But if we're not thinking a new thought, if we're not doing something new, they just get sloughed off. But if we're, I know. But if we're meditating and we're exploring new ideas and consciousness, then our brain is actually getting 600 new stem cells a day. And see, if we're using them because we're meditating and we're expanding our consciousness, the unknown frontier is that the brain itself could be rejuvenating. Which is pretty amazing.
That is really amazing. That's like mind-blowing amazing.
Up until so they've done experiments on people right until they're dying, and they're having the new thought, oh, I'm dying, and that's changing their brain even at the moment of their passing. For some blessed souls, let them take functioning MRIs of them as this was happening. That's commitment. But what they're showing is that the brain never stops evolving and changing, because it's always evolving. It's always responding to our new environment, new thoughts, new awarenesses, relationships, whatever. And the brain loves novelty, and it grows and it thrives on that. So neuroplasticity is about the brain itself is plastic, and we're just starting to understand what that means.
Wow, that is amazing. So are you gonna take us to another one of your delicious meditations, like you did, like you were speaking about how amazing meditation is for the neuroplasticity of the brain? I think let's get those 600 stem cells, give them something to do, right?
Well, because I am a big fan of meditation, as and people may well know this, but the research that Sarah Lazar did in Harvard is showing that in 8 weeks, you know, we can literally grow grey matter in the brain through meditation. And, you know, for anyone with trauma, the trauma center of the brain, the amygdala, reduces in size. The vagus nerve, which helps us regulate our emotions, increases in size in 8 weeks. That doesn't mean it's fixed in 8 weeks, but it means they can see physical changes in the brain after 8 weeks of daily meditation, which is really extraordinary.
That is incredible. Yeah. That is incredible.
Anybody's not meditating every day.
Yeah. So note to self, anyone on the call, do some meditation. It's good for your brain. It's going to make you cleverer, and you're going to be able to handle your cleverer. Did you like what I said? And you're going to be able to handle your emotions better. Clearly, yes.
Yes, and it's going to make your brain younger.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, measurably younger. Yeah.
I love that.
I'm all for that. Yeah.
We can all be kids again.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've got one of my bowls here. I know sometimes you can get a bit of reverb on a bowl on the technology, so I'm just going to very gently play it, because this bowl is my latest bowl, beautiful one that's got tanzanite and gold in it, and it's getting the reputation now for being the happy bowl. Just makes people feel happy, and brings in more of that kind of higher consciousness connection. So you let me know if it's distorting or not sounding pleasant. But I've taken advice that I can play it very, very gently, and it will be okay on the call. So I'd love to try that.
I think everyone is happy with that. We'll pick up on the vibration in any case.
Good, yes. And so I just invite people to close their eyes if they so choose, and to just Can you hear that?
Very, very gently. It's not too loud. You can put a bit more if you want to.
Okay.
Feeling good?
How's that?
It's great. Oh, it is sounding very nice.
Just tuning into that vibration of the bowl. Letting that sound go into your heart space. Imagining that you can indeed see that galaxy of stars in your heart. Spinning very slowly. Expanding your heart. Spacious. Connected. Into the universe of no limitation. And feeling your own consciousness reverberating in the heart center, in this expansive awareness of yourself. And perhaps you can imagine there in the center a crystal that you have or know of. And you could see that crystal being in the place of the sun in the center of that galaxy, pulsing, reverberating, being the centerpiece of that galactic spiral. And feeling that energy of the consciousness of that crystal, its ancient properties, knowledge, and its solid holding of the space. as you see, feel, perceive the stars spinning around it in your heart center. And seeing that spiral expanding out of your body and into your field, as you feel that beautiful, huge motion of the turning spiral arms of the galaxy. How that resonance is in our bodies, our cells, the fields of energy around our body. And at the same time, it can be connected to and anchored in the cells, the energy of the crystal center, the crystalline heart. And just allowing yourself to experience that expanded awareness of your own essence with the crystals and the stars, and the safety of that space, as vast as it is, when we are present in it. That there is no limit to who we can be and how we can be in that love that fuels the stars, the love that pulses in every cell of our being and in our consciousness. And feeling us now all together in that, as part of that galaxy, part of that connection, where there is no separation. And breathing that energy in, as we have this extraordinary capacity to be multidimensional, to be breathing in a physical body, sitting in a chair on this amazing planet, and to be in a vast consciousness of spinning with the stars. And allowing that crystal to anchor in us and be the connector between the physical reality of this planet and this earth, the solidness that we can hold and feel, and yet at the same time it can be a gateway to the stars and to all that that holds for us, which is yet to be explored, and can only be an expansion of who we are, in love, in consciousness, in joy, that joy that we feel when we stand and look at the night sky, that joy we feel just looking at all that light and feeling it resound within us. Allowing that sense of the vast, endless spaces to float back into our hearts, into that crystal that we imagined, into the sense of our own body as part of that creation of all that is. And just noticing if there is an aliveness, a lightness to your being with that awareness present. Bringing your consciousness back to feel yourself sitting solidly in your chair, feet on the floor, and feeling that energy pouring through the soles of your feet to the heart of Mother Earth. As we experience the extraordinariness of who we are, that we can be in the stars and here on Earth all at the same time. and allowing that joy and expansion to reverberate in us. As we come back together and open our eyes, and I'll just finish with playing this bowl again.
That felt so yummy. Wow. How's everyone feeling on the call? How was that for you? Let us know. That was, wow, I'm like floating right now. That was so gentle, but so spacious. It really did feel very, very spacious. It was wonderful. Wow. I'm like speechless.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen often. Thank you, Aurora. That was wonderful. Thank you so much for that. I really did. It really, because I think this morning is, obviously we're in South Africa and it's morning here, so it has been a bit of a manic morning. Just another manic Monday. That song just came and played in my head. So it was interesting as I was sitting there, I could feel myself releasing all that manic energy and going, no, it's not mine.
Yeah.
Because sitting in traffic and all of those kind of things is a different experience entirely, right? So Nick is saying, excellent. It was great to feel it from my heart. I visualized 600 stem cells jumping with joy. Beautiful. I love that, Nick. That is wonderful. Yeah, we can see them all there going, yay, yay. And that bowl has got quite a nice tone to it, very much.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful. Okay, well, I think that's all we got for today. Is there anything else you'd like to share, Aurora? Obviously, we mentioned about your website. If anyone would like to take advantage of that amazing special that you've got at the moment until the 15th of August, it's did you say it was 3 sessions?
Yes, well, 3 weeks. Yes, some people can have 3 sessions at that price. Yes.
Okay, so it's one per week basically, or if you wanted to do 1 every day or 3 per day, I'm sure you wouldn't mind that either.
I just want
what do you call it? Yes?
I just want to get into that the spaciousness that I hope everyone is feeling, and just how expansive that is for the brain and is for us. And this to me is the space of the new frontier that we're exploring, is to be able to be that spacious and be in our bodies and be here in this physical reality. It's really quite extraordinary. Yeah. So it was fun to play with. Yeah.
That's amazing. And I believe you've also got a meditation on your website as well. The pool meditation.
Just some small one. A pool meditation,
yes.
Which is,
That looks lovely. Wow. And it's also for assisting with emotional pain.
Yeah, that's one that I how to keep yourself separate from other people, being around other people who are feeling upset or in pain.
And I love the way that you play with these tools, because I think sometimes people think when you're looking at spirituality, it's woo-woo, and it's like this whole idea of it being non-grounded, and now you're into fairyland, and now you're disconnected from reality, and all these stories that we get told, which I think block us from actually accessing those parts of ourselves. And what I love about what you bring forward and what you share with people is very much to do with, yes, you've got the anxiety, yes, you've got the pain, yes, you've got all that stuff, and yes, it's good to feel that. but it doesn't have to become you, and you can recognize what is yours and what isn't yours. And what is yours is very easy to let go of, and what isn't yours, you're not going to be able to let go of because it's not yours. So just don't hold on to it anymore. It's not yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
which is
yeah,
great.
Yeah. And, you know, for me now, it's all very based in science, which is so interesting because, you know, 30 years ago in the 80s, we were all criticized for being woo-woo. And now there's so much scientific research that backs all this up that, you know, I love that. You know, we're not doing anything that quantum physics doesn't say we can.
Exactly.
So it's
exactly.
very
Exactly. If anything, you're proving that science is right. You're like, yeah, well, we knew that so long ago already. Finally, you caught up. I mean, really, why did it take you so long? Love it. I love it. Well, it was an absolute pleasure to have you on the show, Aurora. And once again, your meditation was just divine. And I'm so glad that we had a consistent call and that the crystals didn't play up this time too much. Like last time, crazy time. Anyone on the call, if you'd like to, yes?
Because I just was interested where people could find the replays. I know people here on it, but
if
people have
on the for the replays of the show, yes. Well, the replays will be on the Facebook page. Obviously, the link that you came into the show. If you're on the show and you want to watch the replay, you just click the same link that you clicked on to actually come into the show, and it'll just take you straight to the replay page, straight to the page.
Okay.
And then it will be on YouTube by the second week in August, and then the replays will come down. So then it'll be on YouTube from then on after this, from the second week of August. So we're having it just run on the replays for the next couple of weeks until the middle of August, and then the replays will deactivate, and then it will be on YouTube. So you'll still be able to watch it from YouTube, and then there will be a YouTube link, which I'll obviously give you, Aurora. And if anyone would like that YouTube link, they can also just go to my Facebook page, Love Your Life Show, on Facebook, and just like the page, and the links will be there as well.
Fantastic.
Pretty easy. Sometimes I think because there's so much complication with the technological side, I've recognized this because I've had this in myself. We think, oh my gosh, it's got to be really complicated. And I know, I'm like, how do I do this? What do I do? But that's why I wanted to keep it as simple as possible and go, let's make it little baby steps and keep it easy so that it doesn't get too much for everyone. So that's why I think it's great that the link that you watch the live show is the same link that you can watch the replay on.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Love it. Thank you, Aurora. It was wonderful to have you on the show.
It was a pleasure.
Awesome.
Great
Awesome.
fun. Thank you.
Yay! Lots of space. And thank you to everyone who's joined us today live. It was great to have you in the show. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Catherine. I think we've got Maureen and we've got Bernadette as well on the call. So thank you for joining us live today. Yay! Your energy has contributed to this as well. And if you would like to get in touch with Aurora, it's aurorahammond.net. She's also on Facebook as well. You can just Facebook Aurora Hammond and you can get in touch with her too. So other than that, I think we should say goodbye and have a wonderfully fantastic day. Aurora, you want to say final goodbye?
Yes, thank you very much. Thanks for everyone who joined, and it was great fun to explore all of this together. Thank you.
Yay. Okay, great. Thank you, friends. Have an amazingly wonderful day full of love and light and joy and happiness and butterflies and no anxiety. Let go of the anxiety already. It's not yours. It doesn't belong to you. Bye-bye.
Bye.